how I can get you to watch that without it. But basically, it just explains everything that I just explained to you. And if you want to watch it, the link is right there. It's in that slide. So let's keep going. Sorry about that. All right. So what causes hearing loss? So hearing loss is caused by noise. It's actually the most common cause of hearing loss, with over 10 million Americans having permanent hearing damage from the noise. That's because noise, what it does is it wears down, as the video said. There's little hairs that are really sensitive and help you know the pitches in the cochlea. And noise will kind of make them less sensitive and run them down almost. And if there's damage to those hairs, the hairs don't regenerate or fix themselves, the hairs that you start out with, that's it. That's usually why most people, even if you don't have a hearing impairment, a lot of younger children can hear higher pitched noises than most people can. I know there was that mosquito ringtone that got popular a while back because teachers couldn't hear it, but other students could. So 30 million people are exposed to hazardous noise levels each day, and noise can cause hearing loss instantly. I want you to think about hearing a super loud clap of thunder, or maybe your friend shot off a gun and you weren't prepared and it was right next to your ear and oh, it hurts, it pops. Or it can happen over a period of time. So it might not be instant. You could just listen to headphones a little bit too loud for a couple of days and it's harder for you to hear. It happens. Noise is the most common occupational illness, and noise damages the inner ear's hair cells. Noise-induced hearing loss from gunshots and explosions is the #1 disability caused by combat and wars, which I thought was really surprising, because, you think wars, obviously gunshots would probably be, gun wounds would probably be the most common. People are shooting at each other and exploding. But no, it's because while one person might get shot, everyone who was around that person heard the gunshot, and everyone who was around the other person who shot the gun heard the gunshot. So it's easy to get... It's easy to damage your hearing. It can also be caused by an object in the ear. I don't want you to think that noise is the only cause of deafness, because objects in the ears, injury to the ears, injury to the head, ear infections, ruptured eardrums, and earwax buildup, they can all contribute to your ears not being able to work well, and then you won't be able to hear. Alright, so here's the decibel scale. Okay? And we're going to go over this because I think it's good for you to know, because not many of us are familiar with the decibel scale. So everything to around 85. You see where this starts getting orange, right around that line? This is all good. It's all safe. Everything past that is not good and is not safe, and you need to be careful of that. But 15 is a pin falling, rustling leaves 30, refrigerator hum 40, electrical transformer 45, floor fan 50, air conditioning unit 60, city traffic 78, vacuum cleaner, all good. You're all good. Now things like rock concerts are 105, motorcycles 100. And I want you to think about that because I actually ride motorcycles, and this made me think, because I'm motorcycles, they're loud, but they're not rock concert loud. But look, they're only 5 decibels apart. That's not very much. Chainsaws are 110, hammer drills 114. Jet takeoff is 140, and then a 12-gauge shotgun beats a jet takeoff by 20 decibels. So that's all the way from here to here. That's the difference, because I don't know if you can really appreciate it from here. It's pretty loud. 12-gauge shotguns are pretty loud. Okay? We're going to reference this chart a lot, so I hope you like it. Okay. So, as we said, that time over loud noises, that hurts you. Okay? So here is the decibels that you should be these are all kind of the iffy decibels, okay? So you can listen to 85 decibels, which if we go back here, 85 is around a little less than lawnmower, a little above vacuum cleaner, and you can listen to that and be safe for about 8 hours, okay? Now I want you to go up 3 decibels. You're going to be halved. So it's going to actually go down to 4 hours. Even though you only went up 3 decibels, you've been halved, okay? Your exposure time with you being safe, been halved. We go up to 91 decibels, and now we're over by around tractor or hand drill, okay? In that area. 2 hours, 94. 1 hour, 97. 30 minutes, 100 decibels, 15 minutes, till we get to about 115 decibels, where you should only be listening to that for about 30 seconds, okay? So 115, right where hammer drill is, right around there, Okay? You should only be listening to that for about 15 seconds. And 105 is the concert, and you should only be listening to that for about 7.5 minutes. So you guys need to be protective with your hearing, because I know you guys don't go to concerts for 7.5 minutes, but that's about the allotted time that you're allowed to, like, safely listen to that, okay? Before you start suffering damage. Alright, and how loud is too loud? So noise-induced hearing damage is related to the duration and volume of exposure. Government research suggests that a safe exposure limit is 85 decibels for 8 hours a day. Some common decibel levels, okay? So this is almost like the chart I sent you, but it has something that I want you to point out, or I want emphasized, because I think this is the root of my thing. So raindrops, 40 decibels, normal conversation, 60, busy city traffic, 85, hair dryers, 90. Now we're getting pretty loud. I have to shout over my hair dryer if I want to talk to my sisters while they're blow drying their hair. Rock concerts, 105. Chainsaws, 110. And iPod at peak volume, guys, is 115. It is 10 decibels louder than the usual rock concert. That is how loud an iPod is, okay? Don't do that. Don't listen to it at 115, okay? You only need about half of that. Normal conversation's about less than half of that. That's right there. You don't need the 115. That will kill your hearing so fast, especially if you listen to it over a long period of time. So if you listen to like a 115 decibel like thing, listen to an album's about like an hour, you've already, if we go back here, okay, now you should only be listening to that for like 30 seconds at the most. Don't do it. And then jackhammers, 120, only 5 more decibels than an iPod at peak volumes, but I digress. And then gunshot and fireworks, which are at 140, okay? So be careful around 4th of July, be careful if you go to the shooting range, make sure you have ear protection. There you go. Okay. Here's the same thing. Decibels, we already talked about that, so I'm going to skim through this because I like the other chart better. But here we go. If you remember what I said about the mild, moderate, severe, profound hearing loss. So here we go here. So this is what most people can hear, 0 to 15, normal hearing. You're going to hear about everything that everyone has to say to you. Okay? 16 to 25, if you're like around there, I'd go to an audiologist, make sure that you're like okay, that you're safe, that you're not missing anything, because that could lead to some signs, but again, it might just be normal. You just might be like a little harder of hearing than most people, but you still no issues. Slight hearing loss is 15 to 25 decibels, and you're gonna have a little bit of difficulty with soft speech, like maybe you won't catch sometimes, and you'll have to like kind of figure it out or ask for people to repeat. Now mild, you're gonna have difficulty with soft speech, like you're gonna have, you're just gonna have problems with it because it's a higher frequency sound. Moderate hearing loss, which is 40 to 55 decibels, frequent difficulty with normal speech. So people will just be talking and you'll like struggle to understand what they're saying. 56 to 70, which is moderate to severe, occasional difficulty with loud speech, okay? So people might be yelling at you, they might be talking louder, you still won't be able to hear it. Now severe, you're like, people will be shouting at you and you definitely will not hear it. And profound, that's what most of us think of when we hear of deafness. Like, you just won't be able to hear it all. Okay. So prevention is the best treatment for not losing your hearing. As we talked about earlier, cochlear implants, which are a lot like hearing aids, they work. They're not guaranteed to work. And it's kind of a process to have to work with them too, because you have to get them surgically implanted, and you have to learn how to use them, and it's just not fun. So the best way, if you can hear right now, just to protect your hearing, just do your best to not lose that. So passive protection, which uses headphones or earplugs to reduce strength and sound, works best for those who are consistently exposed to loud noises. They should be properly fitted for the individual, and you should wear this until you're out of the hazardous noise zone. I know a lot of people, like on my dad's Take Your Child to Work Day, he works at a water treatment plant, and there's loud noises. We all had to wear earplugs. So we wore our earplugs, and then as soon as we thought we were far away enough from the noise, we took out our headphones. Or, sorry, not headphones, earplugs. We thought we were okay, but we actually got in big trouble for that because we weren't safe. There were still noises, like noise pollution, that still could have hurt our ears. Even though, like, in comparison, that noise wasn't as loud as what we were initially hearing, still can hurt us. And then there's active protection. You'll see, these are more uncommon. These are mostly, like, if you are a manager at a job site and you still need to talk to people, but, you know, you can't hear everything in the background. They're like headphones, but they use electrical signals to filter out loud noises, which is pretty cool. Okay. And how to protect your hearing on the job. So make sure your employer has a program to protect your hearing and meets federal and state laws. There are laws to protect your hearing. Make sure you follow them. Those are for your benefit, not your jobs. The most at-risk jobs of hearing loss are carpenter, EMT or ambulance driver because of the sirens, lumberman because of the chainsaw, musician, loudspeakers, air traffic controller because of the jet takeoffs, if we learned were like 140 decibels, garbage man, which is about 85 to 100, construction worker, 85 to 100 decibels, and landscaper, which is 85 to 100 decibels. And workers with hearing loss commonly experience nervousness, difficulty in focusing, lack of quality sleep, feeling isolated, and then trouble communicating with others. And that's simple because if you're having problems talking with your coworkers or with your boss, you might get anxious about something. If you get anxious about something, you're gonna have difficulty focusing and like lack of sleeping because you're anxious. It's just a bad cycle to get in. So it's just easier just not to have your hearing lost. And then over here I have a little graph showing which careers their percentages of hearing loss. So you got mining over here, which about 60% of people who go into mining report a hearing loss, versus like manufacturer, which only about 30% of them have a hearing loss. But then Navy's 37, Air Force 42, and then Army, which was about 50%. 50% of people suffer a hearing loss. Alright, so how can you protect yourself at home? So to protect yourself at home, make sure you limit your time with noisy activities like watching TV. Be careful using headphones with MP3 players, guys. Guys, I get it. Sometimes I go on the bus and I just don't want to talk to the people next to me, so I pop in headphones and people tend to leave me alone. But you gotta be so careful when making that decision because if you listen to it for too long, it's gonna mess with you. If you can't hear anything in the background, like people are talking to you and you close your eyes and you honestly could not hear them, it's too loud. If someone else can hear your music, it's too loud. I know there's noise insulating headphones or noise canceling headphones. Don't turn your volume up. Just invest in better headphones, okay? It's worth it. Not going deaf is worth it. Going deaf is very expensive. It's just worth it just to buy better quality headphones, okay? And I would recommend, so what I usually do is just go about one notch lower than the halfway point. You shouldn't have to do any louder than that. That's about speech. You'll be able to hear everything. It won't hurt you. And don't fall asleep wearing headphones. This makes me sad. As we learned with like exposure time to loud noises and then, loud noises. And if you're sleeping, you're getting all the damage and none of the benefits because you're not even listening to the music because you're sleeping. Don't do it. Just don't. Make sure you get checkups regularly from the audiologist to make sure everything's in check. And be wary of recreational activities like loud engines, explosions, setting things on fire, like fireworks, or sorry, I'm losing my voice. Okay, or loud music. Those all pose risks, like going to the shooting range poses a risk. Just be smart, be careful. And sit in the middle of a concert or club room. That usually has the least amount of noise, so you can still go clubbing and not damage your ears. It's pretty cool. And then as we talked about, hearing loss is invisible, so here's some signs that you might have hearing loss. You have problems hearing people, obviously. Your ears are constantly ringing. This is called tinnitus. You have to constantly ask people to repeat themselves. Your parents are constantly telling you to turn down the TV or turn down your music because it's too loud. Or you speak too loudly in public conversations. And while hearing aids and cochlear implants are available for those with hearing loss, they are not a quick fix. They're not a product. They're not guaranteed to work. The best way to make sure you have hearing is just to avoid losing your hearing. So just be defensive about it, be smart, and don't just leave it up to chance. Like, be active in your hearing, okay? Here's my references. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. Thanks for listening.